Five Finger Death Punch is being sued by their record label, Prospect Park. There's been a lot of talk about this, actually, so far today. In fact, the first story that was cracked about it was saying that they were being sued because they suck. It's not actually the case. It's not the whole story here. The whole story has a little bit more than that. There's a link in the description box that you can follow to read the article that actually has elements of the lawsuit, because at first it seemed like this was too fantastical to potentially be real. The lawsuit, though, is real. It was filed on April the 21st in California Superior Court between Prospect Park and Five Finger Death Punch. And there are many elements of this that are a bit concerning. So, Five Finger Death Punch has a 4-album deal. They are also to deliver a greatest hits record with Prospect Park. They cannot commence the recording of the 4th album of that deal, which is the follow-up to Got Your Six, until June the 4th of 2016, based off of the 9-month album cycle that is described in the contract. So they're not able to commence recording based around that. They're saying, Prospect Park is, that Five Finger Death Punch is attempting to rush material into the studio. That way they can fulfill all that and try to do it before that date. And they're not going to deliver some of the masters for the greatest hits record. They would rather go through another producer or perhaps even another label. There's a lot of talk about potential breach of contract in this situation, and that's not even the half of the concerning things. The biggest and more concerning thing is Ivan Moody and also the band's success while with Prospect Park. Now, one could say it takes two to tango. The Prospect Park is just as guilty of Five Finger Death Punch experiencing some lesser sales as the band themselves. However, there have been numerous complaints that have stated that Prospect Park is concerned that the band hasn't reached platinum or multi-platinum status, such as other artists on their label, one of which is Korn, by the way. There is great concern about Moody's health, and that the band is merely trying to cash in while Moody is vulnerable in order to get this music out there, fulfill the deal, and everything like that, not even considering what something happening to Moody would be, how detrimental that would be to the band. There's also the claim, and once again, the story originally was that Prospect Park said that the band's sound was getting stale. In this legal lawsuit, it was stated that the radio stations and other output centers where they were getting fan interaction, or even the radio stations themselves were the ones that were saying that the sound is stale and in need of more creative input. So basically, going further on down the line from your distribution channels, they are the ones that are saying that there is a lot more needed there and that the sound has just stalled out. But Moody seems to be the center point of this. There seems to be a lot of talk, and there seems to be a lot of text and emails that are being brought up, and these were ones that were sent from members of the band, members of band management, all to Prospect Park, stating that Ivan Moody is a ticking time bomb, that he's somebody that, they don't want to speak Armageddon or that the sky is falling, but there's a good potential that Ivan is really on sort of his last legs. It's something where something has got to give, and if it does, it's going to be bad. There is, in fact, one statement that even says that if Ivan does something stupid, such as dies or goes to jail, there's going to be no potential really to cash in. There's going to be no ability in order to get the most out of these deals, or out of this deal. It's going to cause an obvious fray between Five Finger Death Punch and Prospect Park, and they even go so far as to say that Ivan Moody is costing Five Finger Death Punch a potential 8-figure payday. 8 figures, in case you're wondering, would be in the tens of millions of dollars. So there's a lot of obvious concern here, and there's a lot more stated within the article itself, which includes elements of the lawsuit, of the legal complaint that has gone on here. I implore you to go over and read that, as you will understand a lot more about this, but just some quick statements in conclusion. Last year, whenever we first talked about an Ivan-related incident, which was the onstage incident, the meltdown that caused the rest of the band to walk off, it was seen as perhaps a curiosity. As the year flowed on, it seemed that Ivan was getting more and more involved in the news in the wrong way. The whole TMZ thing, we're going to give that a pass, principally because validity. validity is kind of a rough thing whenever it comes to that. But either way, he's been somebody who's been in the news quite a bit for off-the-field activities, to use a sports metaphor. It's not been based around the music, it's not been based around the strength of the performance or anything like that. It's instead been based off of stuff that you would expect to hear from maybe a pop star that's on the decline, or something that you would hear out of the Wes Scantlin playbook. Yeah, I'll take that pot shot at you puddle of mud, because it's real, it's true. I think that's a big concern there, not specifically that Ivan will become the new Wes Scantlin, that he'll become completely out of control, but instead that he'll lose control, or has lost control over his life because of substance abuse, and it actually has become so detrimental that he can't fulfill the contract that is being proposed, or that has been proposed and signed upon by Five Finger Death Punch with Prospect Park. There's even a statement in here that states that Five Finger Death Punch does not feel that he really is able to fulfill one of the sections of the contract that is directly related to his ability to perform on the fourth record. That he is not in a sufficient enough state to do so. That is a concerning statement if I ever heard one. And that's not one that's being made independently by somebody on the internet, somebody who doesn't just like the band. That's from the band and the management. Yikes. So what do we make of all of this? What's there really to learn, or what opinion do you have, is the big thing. This is really concerning because obviously it isn't just the casual detractor, the 5 reasons people hate Five Finger Death Punch, yeah, there's a link somewhere here, that feel that the band has gotten a bit stale, that the band's music has gotten a bit flat. That's one thing to take away from it. Prospect Park did not say the band sucks. That's the second thing to take away from it. But thirdly, and perhaps most importantly, Ivan Moody needs to get things under control. And the claim here makes it almost sound like the band is trying to cash in on his misfortune. You know, essentially try to rush things out, which could actually do more harm to him than good. There's a lot of bad things that swirl around this. I want to know your thoughts about this. Like I said, you can read the rest of the legalese and try to understand it in the comments, or in the description box below. I want your thoughts in the comments below. My name is coverkillernation. This is concerning and bizarre news. Didn't expect this whatsoever whenever you woke up in the morning. Hit the subscribe button. We'll talk more about this as it comes out. See how things go. We'll also talk about other elements of the news as well. I'll talk to you guys next time. Peace.